All right, B'siyata Dishmaya, Rosh Chodesh Elul. It is officially the month of Elul. Av can go kibinimat. Thank you. Goodbye. Enough of that. New beginnings. V'zat Hashem. Ani le'dodi v'dodi li. Beautiful time. V'zat Hashem of connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, where the gates are opening. All of the gates are opening for deeper connection, for a brand new cycle, for finishing off a year. What a year it's been. 13 months. 13-month year. We're in Shana Me'uberet.
Feels like it.
Tomorrow, by the way, last time you can say it, L'chaparat Pesha. There's a special edition in the Sfardi Nusach, right? In the forgivingness that we ask on Musaf. You can add on a Shana Me'uberet, on a leap year, that you add L'chaparat Pesha, for the atonement of iniquities, of the crimes, of the hardest things that you could have done in a leap year. So B'ezrat Hashem, tomorrow, have intention in davening and make the most of it, because Rosh Chodesh Elul is mamash the sealing of your year, and if it's the preparation for the new year, that means it's the beginning of your year as well. A very, very important day. B'ezrat Hashem, we are in Rachel and Leah, Yam Darkecha Rachel and Leah. We are on page Kaf Vav, Yud Ke Vav Ke, Baruch Hashem. 26 pages in. We are on the idea tonight. We're going to be talking about the differences between Rachel and Leah when it comes to certainty and doubt in life. And we'll also be talking about ascension and descension, going up and down the roller coaster of life. B'ezrat Hashem, two topics to touch on. One of the differences that come out of this idea of Rachel and Leah is that Leah mainly is dealing with the work that is need to be done here in this lower realm, the work of the human being. But Rachel, they want to always comprehend and attain more knowledge of the Creator, must be to focus on HaKadosh Baruch Hu more. So the difference is that these neshamot of Leah, they come to a logical understanding and conclusion that the way of avodah is through humility. Right? They look about what do we have to do as humans. So they come to understanding if it's about us, then the way of really doing what we need to do has to be through humility. That I have to understand how low of a creature I am, how insignificant I am in the grand scheme of the whole entire story of creation and the tikkun that Hashem is trying to do. Right? One person out of 9 billion, and how many creatures there are in all of the worlds, spiritual and physical. You're just another boreg, right? Boreg katan. You're another small little screw in the big picture, right? You're nothing. So that's how they look at themselves. And that's what they think. In comparison to the Creator, what am I? So my whole entire job is to be an anav, to be a humble person. Omnam and neshamot shel Rachel sovrot, but the souls of Rachel, since their way is connection, they come out to a logical understanding that the way of avodah is to recognize the greatness of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, how lofty Hashem is, and how much mercy and kindness Hashem has bestowed upon us, to know that we are the vehicles of revelation for Hashem in the world. We are shlichim of Hashem. We were picked by Hashem to reveal Him in the world. We are His representatives. Va'or shelanu be'etzem shelo, and all of my light, at its core, it's His. וכהמשך למהלך הזה, and in continuing in this path, there's another recognizable difference in the neshamot, and that is that Rachel go in the way of vadai, of certainty, and Leah, they go in a path of safek, of doubt. Meaning, Leah people, that they always look at the work of the human being, the work that we have to do done here, einam b'tuchim b'atzmam. So they're not sure, but they're not certain of themselves. They don't have self-security in their own actions and their decisions. Right? The path that they're going on, the things that they think they understood in Torah and Tefillah, asagot, and different messages and lights that they received. They have a doubt in all of it. They think and they actually act and they speak in it's possible, maybe, could be. Right?
This is Leah?
Leah. They're very conservative. They go on a very conservative path. And they trust very much on those who came before them. ובמקום שאין להם על מי לסמוך, in a place that they don't have who to trust, they don't have an opinion that they could follow, that they know someone hasn't gone down that path yet, yitu lachmir, their nature will be stringent. You don't know the halacha, you don't know if it's allowed or not, don't do it. Right? That's their nature. Ki chaim hem et shifruta tachtonu miut kocho v'asagato. What is the whole life of Leah? How low and irrelevant you are in the grand scheme of things. You're just another creature. You're just another human being in the world. You have no power besides Hashem. Who are you to comprehend anything? You're just a human being. So when I do feel like I understood something, when I do feel like I had a revelation, it's still inside a question. It's in a realm of doubt, because who am I to have some asaga? Who am I to go do itbodedut and talk to Hashem and get answers? Who am I to even show up to Shacharit, and get something out of that, right? Everything's a doubt. But Rachel people, that they're always focusing on the light of up above dwelling down on us, they're tuchim u'mushuchnaim b'chol libam. They're certain and completely convinced with all of their heart on their path, in their actions, in the things that they understand in life, and they always have their own chidushim. They come up with different ideas. Whatever comes up in their asaga, whatever they come in their comprehension, in their work throughout the day of Torah and mitzvot, people get messages, right? We all get messages. Rachel's souls, they're sure of what they're getting, and they're even able to write it down. Today I had a thought such and such of this, a chidush Torah, a novel idea. Everyone according to their level. Everyone on their own level, right? And who's a wise person? Whoever knows his place, right? You have chidushim on your level. Okay, don't think that you're one of the biggest tzaddikim in the world, but you have chidushim. That's good.
Not Mashiach?
No, not yet. Soon. I'm certain, it's just that it didn't happen yet, right? They feel this certain inner certainty. Where do they get this certainty from? It comes from the holy yesh, the holy ego that they have inside of them. We all have this, right? Like the Baal Shem Tov says, how do you use gava? Gava is the worst midah that you could have, right? Anger and pride. Baal Shem Tov says, how do you use gava in avodat Hashem? Everything you can. V'yigbal libo b'darkei Hashem. And he lifted his heart in the ways of Hashem, right? That you have to be able to say to yourself, I am going to be a tzaddik, I am going to finish this, I am going to be able to do tshuva, I'm going to finish Tehillim, I'm going to finish the Masechet, I'm going to finish all of Shas. I'm able to do it. Hashem gave me the power to do it. How can Rachel be so certain? Because they're not looking at the human side of things, they're looking at the godly side of things, and God is perfect, so for sure the light that He's bringing down here is perfect. That means I can do it. I'm certain about it. I'm 100% certain. If I got a message today when I was praying, when I was learning Torah, I'm certain that was a godly thing. Because my view is not about the human, it's about HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time. And since they feel Hashem's light on them often, and much more than Leah people, they have a strong sense to trust their emotions. They know when they have light and when they don't have light. Right? They're emotional people, so they know how to filter the messages that are coming through their emotions, because they're at one with their emotions. They know if it's real, they know if it's not. Veshuv, even though this is a very high level, to really know what's going on and to understand your chidushim and to know if they're true or not, it's a high level, but it's imprinted in your nefesh. We all have this ability. It's there. You have this. You have the tool. This is its job, and this is its whole entire purpose. Therefore, even a Rachel soul who is still not rectified, he's not holding on a level where he has godly light dwelling on him all day long. So a Rachel person, that's the average Rachel person. They're not, all day long Torah and mitzvot and always on a kosher path, but they're definitely Rachel souls. They're definitely more spiritual. Even though you can't say that they're understanding all the things that they're getting and they're all chidushim of truth and everything, when they have a strong feeling, they have more permission to trust it than a Leah soul, right? They're more aligned. If they're certain of something, they're most likely right? And on that, he says, there's another reason for this. And it's since Leah people, they go after the intellect, so then human intellect is limited. How much can a human understand? As much as he's been taught, as much as he's experienced. And a person always can make a mistake according to his intellect. Your calculations could be off. Your understanding, the information that you have, the context, the details, everything could be off. Therefore, Leah people can't completely trust something that's only understood logically. Because they understand themselves. We're people of logic. Just like I know my emotions, if I have them or not, that's certainty. My human comprehension and understanding of this world, that could not be certain. I know it can't be certain. There's certain things that are facts that I know. Okay. There's certain things that maybe it happened, maybe it didn't, maybe it was real, maybe it wasn't. I'm uncertain, so I'm not going to be so stringent or so clear with that. The people of Leah have to be careful to not break their students and the people that they're influencing that are coming from the side of Leah, from Rachel, sorry. Don't say to them, don't tell your Rachel student or your Rachel son or daughter or your wife, right? Don't tell her, don't be so sure in the feeling that you had. You can't trust your emotions. Don't be 100% sure that you know that it's really what you said. The vitality of Rachel's souls comes from the idea that they live out their emotions with complete certainty. So if you now come with a doubt, don't be so certain what you felt was the case. All of what they attained, all of what they comprehended will be ruined. You're going to mess it all up.
Can a Leah soul be more spiritual than a Rachel soul?
For sure, it can be acquired that way. Yeah, definitely. And definitely because they make kelim all the time, so the light has where to stay. So they over time they might not be as extreme, but they'd be definitely more spiritual because they have more structure and more ability to hold the light over a period of time. You can't say a person really spiritual person if they're not able to limit that spirituality to the will of the divine being that is the utmost spiritual. Right? You can't be super, super spiritual all the time and know that you don't have to do shacharit, you don't have to keep halacha, you don't have to, that those borders of Leah, of the dry yavesh pshat, that's what keeps a person spiritual. Spirituality is not like the east of just floating or going to a mountain detached from this world for 6 months and not talking to anybody. No, we have to be in the world, and in the world, using the world that Hashem gave us, give praise back to Hashem. That's the Jew's job, right? So that's only going to happen by way of halacha. So the emotions can become dark if you ruin the person's thoughts, the Rachel student or child's thoughts. This is different than Leah people, that their understanding and their comprehensions that they get are built off of intellect. What I know stays what I know, even if I have a doubt. Right? The thing I have a doubt about, I'm a doubt about. But what I know. That's not an emotion, right? I know 2 + 2 = 4. It's not an emotional thing that comes and goes. That's a fact of life. So even when I lose light, if like a Rachel soul would lose light, it's not like everything's gone from me because I don't work off my emotions. I work off things that are factual. It's intellectual. So I still know what I know, right? That can't be shaken. So that was on the idea of feeling certain or going through doubts. Rachel people are certain. Why? Because they're always looking up. They're looking at Hashem. Right? The light, I know my midot come from Hashem. I know the lights that I'm experiencing come from Hashem. Whether I can see them as good or bad, that's on me. The light is pure and it came from Hashem, so I'm certain in it. But on the Leah side, they're always looking at the human aspect. In the human aspect, then it's according to my limited understanding. And that I can't be certain on all the time. And there's only so much I can go. There's things that are above my pay grade. There's things that I don't see clearly. I don't understand the full picture. So they live in more of a realm of possible, could be, right? You could say, but they don't have the certainty of for sure it's like that.
Can you give an example?
An example?
Yeah.
Say a person's learning Torah, right? And they're learning a sugya, and the one guy in the chavruta says, I know 100% it's this. I feel it. It's that person is a Rachel person, right? For whatever reason, it clicked for them, right? But beyond, they don't really understand, but they have this feeling that this is the answer. It's here. It has to be here, right? And they're certain of it. Whereas the other chavruta, this is usually how it is, right? Rachel and Leah are usually paired together, right? That the other guy is a Leah guy, and he says, no, it doesn't make sense.
Makes sense.
It might make sense.
All these questions, all these,
It might make sense. The Rachel person might be sure, yeah, this is where the answer is. It's for sure here. But the Leah person doesn't understand it yet, so they can't agree to it yet. So they're like, okay, it could be, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me yet, right? That's one way that you could see it. In life, you could take it into everyday life, right? I shouldn't go to the party, right? I shouldn't go to the party. Why? Why not? What happened? You were about to go to the party. You're already ready. You're already dressed. Why not go to the party? I don't know. I have an emotion. I feel it's wrong.
Yeah.
Intuition, it's complete, and I'm certain of it. I can't go to the party. That would be a more Rachel, right? Right? That they have an emotion.
Well, I had more children. So
they have an emotion, right? And their emotion is certainty. There's no room for doubt in their emotion. Whereas the Leah person, that's a friend of theirs that was going to go to the party as well, says, "What do you mean? Nothing in the factual evidence has changed at all. We're dressed, we were going to go, the car is here, there's gas in it, we're going, we have tickets, we're getting in the party, we're going to have a good time, our friends are there, everything's the same." Then 10 minutes ago, what are you talking about your emotion that I can't go? No, I have an emotion, I'm certain of it, I can't go. I have a feeling I can't go. Leah person, it makes no sense, they go. Right?
And
Most people are Leah people.
I'll tell you a personal story that happened with me when I was a kid. I had just gotten my license. I was in Miami.
Driver's license?
Yeah, and I was in Miami, and I wanted to go to a club with my friends. And I went to my dad, and I told him, I want the car. He says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I want to go to this club. I'm not going to drink. I'm not going to do anything. I don't do that anywhere, but I want to drive there. I want to drive with my friends. We just got a new car there, right? And I put down some of the money for the car, quite a lot of money for the car. Anyway, so I want the car. I want to go, but I'm a kid still. I'm 16 years old. I need permission." So my dad says, "Where do you want to go?" So I told him this place, Club Space in Miami. Whoever's been there, Rahmana Litzlan, Baruch Hashem. I never made it to Club Space, and this is because of this story. What happened? My dad told me, "Here's the car. Here's $100. Go do whatever you want in Miami. Don't go to that club." My dad doesn't know the club. My dad doesn't know anything about this place. He had a strong intuition. My night, that night, was you need to listen to your dad. Because every time you don't listen to your dad, you get it. And this time he said very strongly, do whatever you want, take the car, have a good time.
You get it. You
Don't.
get it like bad.
Yeah, it comes around to bite me, right?
but eat the
So
steak of the-
I didn't go to Club Space that night. I went and hung out with friends and we did other things. What happened? My friends that did go to Club Space, that were standing next to other friends, there was a shootout right next to them on the line waiting outside the club to get in. Right? And they were talking a kids party, 16, 17, 18, 15-year-olds, right? Not gang, whatever, two idiots with guns, right? Shooting at each other. And I was meant to be right there. So I don't know my dad's intuition, but my intuition that night was listen to your dad. So these are the kind of things that it's like, logically, if my dad's giving me the car, logically as a 16-year-old, where am I going? I'm going straight to that party. You gave it to me, I'm going, right? For whatever reason, it flipped. So that's this idea. And then we're going to go on to Zat Hashem, Olim v'Yordim, ascending and descending. Shalom Aleichem Shmuel. From this we understand, Shema Shematzui Mod Etzel Bnei Aliyah Me'anshei Rachel, spiritual people of Rachel, more spiritual people that are connected to Avodat Hashem, they're doing their work. Shebaliyatam hem mitapsim gavoa v'hem ptuchim me'od v'madragatam. When they're ascending, they go very, very high, and they're certain of where they're going. They're certain on the level that they're at, that's where they're at. V'la'achar zman em noflim mizeh. And after a while, they fall from this. V'anshei Leah hamistaklim behem choshvim shakol dimayon. What happens? You have the Leah person from the side looking at this person. Look, he's in La La Land. He's all illusions. He was flying up, and now he's deep diving in the depths of hell. Right? What's going on with this guy? He's living in an imaginary world. How could it be that a person goes and learns tons of Zohar, finishes Tehillim, finishes this, finishes that, and the next day you see him falling? He got to that. How could it be that a person goes so high and then falls so low? Like, how could it be? That's how the Leah person looks at them, right? But they don't get it. They don't understand that. Mamash, that's life for the Rachel soul. It's not true. כי בטבע אנשי רחל כשהרם מאיר להם והם מרגישים משהו, אזי הם חיים אותו עם הרגשת והשגה אמיתית. For Rachel people, when they get a light, it's all systems go. You're going to give me this much power? Yeah, I'm going to finish Tehillim. Yeah, I'm going to read Zohar. Yeah, I'm going to do this, that, and the other. I'm going to go to all the tzaddikim. I'm going to do a million tikkun klalis. I'm going to sing my heart off to Hashem. I'm going to go to the Farbrengen. I'm going to wake up for nets. Why? Because the gates are open right now. And I'm a person that works off of getting the light of the Creator on me. And if the lights are flowing, the lights are flowing. And it's very real. Very real. Because I feel it and I'm going with my feeling. And it's super true. And what I'm comprehending while I'm on this high is very, very real and very true. And therefore, they go so certain in this path. But the fact that they fell afterwards, that doesn't come from a true lack of what they got while they were there. It comes from a lack of the ability to stand through hard times. To go through a little bit of concealment and to keep on pushing it. To still show up to Shacharit, to still show up to Mincha. It's not because what they saw was not real and it was all a lie. No, it was very real. And then a test came and they weren't able to pass the test. They weren't able to keep the work up. They their stamina gave out and they burnt out and that's it. But it was very real. Chaim.
With Yosef, to the tribe of Yosef. And Ephraim and Asher, which were the biggest together. And well, they disappeared. And they were
Rachel, yeah. Last little thing, and we're finished with the second chapter. Lo limkot pnimiyut alev.
A jogger and a sprinter. Almost a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually, they also say the way that people do tshuva is different. If they're like a Leah person, they try to stay high. Like they try not to
separate from physicality. Don't get involved with this world too much. Stay on your
It's the Leah people. They fall and they do tshuva. That's what I heard.
Yeah, 100%. Tov. So the next little 2 paragraphs is called Lo limkot pnimiyut alev lemi shelo mevin. To not sell their inner heart to a person who doesn't understand. Sometimes a Rachel soul that understood something very, very deep in the words of his rabbi or a different idea in Torah, in a darkei avoda, in the way of serving Hashem, and it starts to become a big light for him. It's illuminating a light for him. But his friends, they look down on that thing. They're like, what's the big idea? What's the big chidush? So he said that. What does it mean? So what? Right? And this could happen with the deepest Kabbalah, and it could happen with the simplest Mishnah. Right? This could be a parak of Tehillim, or it could be a parak of Zohar. It doesn't matter. You got a certain deep understanding from something you learned, something you heard, something you heard from your rabbi, and your friend looks at you like, what are you making such a big deal about? And they start to nullify the hearts of the thoughts of the heart and what's going on inside you. On one side, he feels offended, he feels hurt. On the other side, he doesn't know. Maybe they're right and I have a mistake. It's found. It could be that a person made a mistake, right? It could be. People make mistakes. Rachel is the person that receives the inner light. Therefore, they less understand it. They receive the inner light, and therefore they have a detachment, and they don't understand it that much. It's connected to a very internal thing. It's an inner emotion. This kind of holiness you can't see with eyes. Therefore, Rachel person doesn't have where to check the truth of what he's saying, to see if am I correct, am I not, am I on the right path or not. What are we saying here? A Rachel soul who got a deep idea, a deep chidush. Don't go tell it to your Leah friend. Don't go tell it to them. Don't share that idea with a person who's not a deep person, that needs to understand everything, that it all needs to make sense. Don't do that. Go talk to a Rachel soul. אנשי רחל שקנו את כלי Leah. But you should find a person of Rachel that has acquired the toolkit of Leah. Meaning at the shorish of their pnimiyut, they're spiritual, they like light, they like deep ideas, they like things that they can't really understand, but they've already worked on themselves enough that they have the toolkit of Leah, they have the intellectual side, they can be able to look at you and say, that's a beautiful chidush, but there's a little thing here, there's a little thing there. Why? Because in the end, we all want the truth, right? And there has to be a little bit of structure, we have to take that part out, right? So don't go tell it to the completely Leah soul that's an intellectual, everything is a mathematician in his head. The gematria doesn't make sense. But the kolel does. But we do with the kolel. No. Go talk to your Rachel souls, but your Rachel friend that knows a little bit more of the side of Leah. Because they'll be able now to make a proper constructive criticism of what your chidush was and to take the good from the bad and to not make a mistake here. Like when you need to check a diamond, you have to take it to a person that understands diamonds. So too, make sure to not sell the depths of your heart to a person who doesn't understand it. Bina na zot. Understand this, please. Last little footnote. 1 second, Achi. ויוכל לומר את דבריו לאנשי לאה רק שהם באמת רוצים לשמוע ולקבל. You could say it to Leah souls only when they truthfully want to hear, listen, and receive from you. ורק עם זהירות גדולה שלא יפצעו את ליבו, and only with great caution that they shouldn't injure your heart. ושלא יסיתוהו מהנקודה הפרטית שלו, they shouldn't take you off of your own personal נקודה, your own internal path. in עבודת השם, ועל דרך זה בדברי הרב התלמידים האמיתיים משמשים את רבם. And by way of this, the true students of the rabbi serve the rabbi, כדי לראות, לשמוע ולהרגיש מהי פנימיות התכלית המכוון. Why? Because when you sit in the shiur of the rabbi, you can only get what he says. But when you're serving the rabbi, when you're helping him with this, when you're helping him with that, you see the inner meaning of what's going on. You see the feeling behind how he eats. You see the feeling behind this thing. You see much more than the words just coming out of the shiur. You have now a connection where you're seeing much deeper things. And what is the deeper purpose that's being intended here? What is the depth behind the actions, behind the words, behind the thoughts of the tzaddik? And you have to be very careful to not sell this to a person who's only looking on the external aspects of life, right? You have a deep connection with a person, you know a person's a tzaddik, you're connected to him, you see him beyond anybody else because you don't just show up to the shiurim or daven with him. You're connected, you're in his inner chambers, you see what's going on behind the scenes, and it's scary to even begin to think about what kind of a holy person you're connected to. Don't go to a person who doesn't like that person or who doesn't understand it and start giving over all of these ideas and things that you know about him. Because they don't understand it and they're going to look down on it and they're going to try to burst your bubble. They're going to take you off your path. And it's going to be your fault in the end of the day that you went to go open your heart and sell your heart to a person who doesn't understand it. What are you taking a diamond to go get checked by a person who changes tires? It's not the same industry. It's not even connected. No understanding at all. No appreciation even for it. Right? With that said, though, when you have something that you need to get clarified, take it to a Rachel soul, but a Rachel soul that's more developed, a Rachel soul that's more mature and that's acquired the side of Leah. And with that, B'ezrat Hashem, we finished the second chapter in Rachel and Leah. From here, we're going to go into what do Rachel souls do when the light disappears. B'ezrat Hashem, that's next week. B'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach. Thank you, everybody. What else do we have here?
Back to the story of the Dudaim.
Go ahead, tell the story of the Dudaim. It's deep. It's important.
If I remember correctly, Rachel was the one who collected the Dudaim, right? And then Leah kind of...
No, Leah got them and Rachel asked to borrow them.
Asked to borrow them so that she could get pregnant.
Nachon.
And Leah, instead of caring for her sisters, well, she didn't really like the idea, and then Yaakov got angry at Rachel.
No, that's fine.
I'm trying to remember what connection I made as I said it.
I don't know, but you said it reminds. B'ezrat Hashem, guys. Peace out.